Here in Panama. You're watching Island Brew with me, Graham Hughes, and I realise I've got to go back to the house to get myself a little mosquito coil because otherwise I'm going to sit here for an hour and literally get bitten to death by the chichas that live in the mangroves around me here. So I'm going to leave you to look out over the grey expanse because it is raining at the moment and have a little bit of ASMR radio. So here we go. I'll just flip the camera around and yeah, I'll just leave this situated on my tripod down here. Come on you get. There you go. Lovely. Right, I'll just be about 3 minutes, I think, and then I'll come back. If people in the chat want to explain where I've gone, that'll be cool. Let's have a sip of coffee and away I go. Okay, hello everyone. Oh no, the hammock's wet. Oh no. Right, let's see what we've got here. Up, up, up and away. And turn that round. Turn it round. Hey, hello, it's me, it's Graham. Hi. Welcome to Jinja Island and the daily stream that we have on here. About time, says blah blah CW. Yes, indeed. So I found my super chat thing. So I'm going to put that down there. I remembered to bring that. What I didn't remember to bring is one of these, not the beer, this is empty, but the mosquito coil, because it's quite wet. Just caught my bloody finger on the hot bit. That's all right. So I've got 9 more. It's okay. So yeah, I've this hammock is soaking. It's been raining all night, like crazy rain. But the really sort out this hammock. It's a bit twisted. I'll leave it. It's fine. Last night, loads of rain. The good news is the island isn't particularly flooded. If it had rained like that a couple of years ago, I would have woken up in the morning just to find a swamp. There's just like loads and loads of water standing. But this morning woke up and there's hardly any because of the fences we've put in place, and also we've put these one-way valves in. So we've got 2 one-way valves. We're going to put another one in. So the one-way valve is basically just a hatch on the end of a pipe. So we've got these 4-inch drain pipes that go under the wall along the edge, and at the end of the drain pipe is like a hinged flap, which stops the water coming in, but it allows water to come out. So when it's sort of full high tide, it closes and doesn't let the water in. The only problem with it is, I mean, I've spoken before about this being like a living island because of the mangroves. There's just like so much maintenance that needs to be done. And I was just thinking this morning, like I do sound very much like I'm one of those gobshites. Well, I am a gobshite, but like one of those gobshites who's like, they date their ancestry back to the invasion of England in 1066 by William the Conqueror and the Normans, the Northmen of France, these French Vikings, and they found themselves with like this family estate that when things like slavery and colonialisation were all the rage, their families were making loads of money, and essentially the dad has drank all the way or gambled away the family fortune, and then there's this kid who's left with this entire mansion to look after, and they're like, how do I do this without, resorting to prostitution? I'm a bit like that, so I don't think anyone should feel sorry for me, but there is just so much maintenance to be done. And this isn't even that big an island, it's only 2.2 acres, but I do like to remind people that it's bigger than your island, mate. But yeah, it is. It's a weird thing because at the same time, like this island is an absolute blessing. And don't get me wrong, and I love coming here and love sitting out here on the boat dock in a hammock, and you just saw the water while I was faffing around getting the mosquito coil. It's even on a grey day. It's just lovely. I mean, it's not cold. You can see I'm wearing a t-shirt, it's nice to get away from the world. It's nice to get away from the hustle and bustle. Do you know what I'm liking as well? I haven't seen a single fucking Union Jack the whole time I've been here. It's been great. In fact, I put in my wallet, I put my Panamanian cedula over the top of my British driving license. My British driving license now has it used to have an EU flag on it, now has a British flag on it. Didn't want to see it. Okay, so Mike is watching. Hey, look, there he is. Mike, I'm mending and getting used to the new mic. Only here to beg Graham to stop sending me completely inappropriate jokes. I'm sorry, Mike. I apologise profusely. It's just, I know that if I was in your position, I'd really want people to send me really inappropriate jokes. I'm sorry, I'm a terrible person, and I apologise. I'm sorry, mate. I just feel like you gotta, have a little bit of humour in these situations. No, just me. Okay, sorry, mate. Sorry. But yeah, mate, you're an absolute trooper, mate, and I hope you get out. I hope you get out tomorrow. Good moment. Fiona Bruce asking the question time audience if they think the UK should be actively involved in Iran, and 4 hands went up. Oh my god, 4 too many, but wow. Thought you were turning into the seagull. Message deleted. I like them actually, says Mike. Well, I did think that. I did think, well, if they were really offensive, surely Mike would just block me so he didn't have to put it in my shit anymore. Politely ask Mike to design a flag for the island. Ooh, well, I've already designed the flag for the island. Not out till Monday now. It's the best thing, but that's the best thing to do. Oh, well, that's good. If that's the best thing to do, that's good. It's a shame you got to spend a bit more time on the ward there doing your old carry-on doctor, stroke carry-on nurse, stroke carry-on doctor again. Was it nurse again? I can't remember. But yeah, being on a hospital ward with other people and having to talk to them. I mean, I just think, like, you know, when you're at the bus stop or something, someone talks to you and they're like kind of annoying. They just get on the bus and you sit away from them, never to see them again. But when you're in a hospital ward, you're kind of stuck, aren't you? It was carry on again, doctor. Sorry, not carry on, doctor again. Apologies. Diz confetti, mine. Yeah, maybe we should get some confetti and throw it up in the air. So what I want to talk to you about this morning, the main topic, is influencers, because I find this really interesting, right? I don't regard myself as an influencer. I think what we've done here is we've more built up a community of people who just meet up, and I'm not trying to sell anything to you apart from, I don't know, your time, I guess. But I'm not here hawking words or trying to get you to like a country that is demonstrably unlikable. But what's really interesting is you've got these people who are now freaking out because they're stuck in Dubai. And they've been paid to go over to Dubai. Let's get this straight. They've been paid to go over to Dubai by the government of Dubai. They have been put up in like penthouses. Everything's been paid for by the government of Dubai. This is really important. I will circle back to this in a moment. And obviously, Dubai is just one of the 7 emirates of the United Arab Emirates. But they each have their own individual governments. It's up to, you know, Abu Dhabi or Dubai what they do in these situations. But they are paying influencers to come over from Ireland, from England, from America, from Australia, to come and do these things where they say that Dubai is amazing, right? You've got to say Dubai is amazing. And you've got to go on about how great capitalism is and how great it is to not have to pay tax, and capitalism, and not having to pay tax, and capitalism. And I'm just sort of looking at this going, okay, right, so, sorry if I went off for a second there. Capitalism. The government of a country is paying you to do something out of tax money that they have accumulated one way or another, sales tax or oil tax or, you know, income tax. I know it's quite low, but, you know, corporation tax. So they've taken money off the citizens and the companies that live in Dubai, that were born in Dubai, and they are giving that money to people to do jobs for the government. That's socialism. That sounds very much like socialism, the absolute opposite of capitalism. Capitalism would be someone with no money going to Dubai and doing really, really well for themselves and ending up in an apartment, a penthouse apartment. In this scenario, the socialistic government of the United Arab Emirates, but in this case Dubai, are paying people. They're literally paying people to go straight into a penthouse, to then say how great Dubai is. But there's a catch, friends. So I was given a few free rides on cargo ships and also on a few cruise ships. And in return, They didn't ask. Honestly, they didn't really ask for much. It was just I did an interview in Australia. I was on the TV over there, and they asked me how I got to Australia, and I said, "Oh, it was a Princess Cruise Line brought me over. Funny story, blah blah blah." And told the story about how I managed to blag my way onto it, and they were just really grateful. They were just like, "Oh yeah, thanks for that." Do you know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of influencers who have gone to Dubai, right? And they've said to them, right, we'll pay for everything, pay for your food, pay for your flight, pay for your accommodation in this wonderful apartment, right? And we'll sort you out with a rented, plane, so you can sit on the tarmac on your rented plane, and you can drink samosas, pretending to drink I don't know, right? Okay, I don't know, right? I don't know what the deal is. But I think a lot of them are like thinking what I thought when I got on a free ride off Princess Cruises, that as long as I mentioned them, they helped me out. That was great, thank you. I'll be all right. But here's the kicker, right? And I've looked into this. There's a law in Dubai. It's called like the Cybercrime Act or something like that. And so here's the thing, right? If you slag off Dubai, if you go to Dubai and the government pay for you to go to Dubai, and you make a video saying, I'm really scared of all the bombs dropping on me and all these drone attacks that are coming across the Persian Gulf from Iran, I'm a bit worried about that. That's deeply concerning to me. You can get a jail sentence and or a fine of up to £600,000. So it's kind of like socialism with a stick. There's another name for that, isn't there? I think it begins with C. Can't remember what it is though. Anyway, so there we go. Miss Paula Thomas, thank you very much for the £20 super chat. Okay, here is the extra delicious news about the by-election. The Tory candidate was super gender critical. She spoke about pretty much nothing else. She thought the Muslim voters would like it and lost her deposit. That is fantastic news, Miss Paula Thomas, and thank you very much for the super chat. Super chat. Super chat. It's a super chat. It's so super being in the super chat. Thank you. If you can hear that noise in the background that sounds like a giant wasp, it's a speedboat. Do you want to see it? Do you want to see the speedboat? There you go. Oh no, it's a panga. Across the great expanse. Into the greyness. To the grey. Don't go into the grey, young man. You'll never come back. Anyway, so this is Gallifreyan men taking turf got served. Good news indeed. Yeah. Well, as we often say, I mean, Phil never tires of saying this. Is like being a turf isn't a vote winner. It's not a vote winner, because the only people who care about the treatment of trans people are trans people and their friends and allies. Right. And they're not going to vote for anyone who's a turf. Like, all it does is lose votes. It doesn't gain you any votes, because it's way down on the list of things that people are really concerned about when you drill down into it. I mean, it's the stuff that people are concerned about when they're at the bus stop or getting a haircut or something. And another thing, do something about all these people who are just living their authentic lives. I mean, how dare they? Yeah. Oh, we got another super chat. Thank you very much to SG. SG, you lovely, lovely person. There's talk that AI was involved in targeting the girls' school in Iran, and Kegsbeth is trying to bully Anthropic into allow zero human input in the kill chain for AI weapons. I can't even. Thank you for the super chat, mate. Thank you. Kegsbeth, he's got to be the next one out, hasn't he? The Trump administration. He's just an absolute fucking nightmare. An absolute fucking nightmare from top to bottom, left to right. The guy is a fucking rapist, and he's managed to become the Minister of fucking War or something, because he changed the title. Secretary of State for War? Yeah. Stroganoff for Gallifreyan. I'm sorry that you've not been doing so well. I'm glad that you're doing a bit better today, and hopefully that news about the by-election will put a little bit of a spring in your step. I know things have been a bit shit recently. I know Sarah's injured her foot. Sarah, did you get it scanned? Did you see whether it was broken or not? Because I hurt my foot once, and I just thought, I'll be fine. I was limping around, and it wasn't until I actually got the x-ray that I found it was broken. So I probably shouldn't have limped around on it. Hey peeps, may the bigots shrivel up. Yes, person impersonator. Couldn't agree more. Um, do do do. There we go. Live chat. So I should get all of your messages. I normally do. You know, there's not that much difference in the live chat and the top chat. You could make a Scooby-Doo type movie on the island. Scooby-Doo movie. I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you pesky rain and mosquitoes. No, it's not mosquitoes that you have to worry about. It's the cheaters. It's the cheaters here. So yeah, just to go back to these influencers. I mean, isn't this the maddest part of just everything right now? Is the way that these billionaires, you know, the Crown Prince, bloody Mohammed, whatever his name is, MLB, MBS is it? Is it MBS? Is it? I'm getting it mixed up with Saudi Arabia. Who's in charge of Dubai? It's Mohammed something. But yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? These billionaires with more money than any of us could possibly imagine or spend in several thousand lifetimes are using some of their vast wealth to get people to go over to the, you know, in the case of Saudi Arabia, I mean, very, 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 very unwelcoming countries until very recently. And even now, there's, you know, you sort of sleep with one eye open in Qatar, in Dubai, in Saudi Arabia. Because if you do transgress the local laws, yeah, you can be really up shit creek, you know? They don't fuck around in these places. Obviously, you know, in a place like Saudi Arabia, they still have the death sentence and they're prepared to use it. And there's a part of me that goes, well, you know, if you visit a new place, the least you can do is sort of learn the customs and the values of where you're at, you know, and I think that's fair enough. Then the rules are. I often say that people shouldn't just turn up without doing any research into a country. Some people I've met on the road are like, oh, I just turn up and then see what's happening. And I'm like, you need to know a little bit of the culture. You need to learn a little bit of the law. I'm not saying you have to study a law degree or nothing, but just reading up to find what the things are that you can do and things that you can't do. A lot of Western travelers piss me off when they transgress local customs. So, like, for instance, in Sri Lanka, you would get quite a few people coming from the beach and they'd have a top on and walk into a shop or something, and you're not supposed to do that. Or in, you know, into a Buddhist temple, and people have got their shoulders showing, and they're like, oh, I've got to cover up my shoulders. I'm like, yeah, but that's just the rule, you know, and you've got to abide by it if you want to go into their place. It's like going into someone's house and demanding that you keep your shoes on. Look, I find it a pain in the arse to take my shoes off, to be quite honest with you, because I get really cold feet and I always stub my toe on stuff. I like having shoes on all the time because I don't have to see my feet, don't stub my feet, keep my feet warm. Three good things. I'm wearing shoes now. You know, I'm on a tropical fucking island and I'm wearing a pair of quite dirty now. Clean before I got here. Quite dirty Vans, because I just don't. Also, it stops the insects biting my feet. If I didn't have this on, the insects would bite my feet. But yeah, but if I go into someone's house and it's shoes off at the door, I take my fucking shoes off. It's their house. I'm a visitor. I'm a guest. You know, I don't go, oh, I'm taking my shoes off like fucking, you know, Donnie Brasco or something. I don't know. Keep me fucking shoes. Anyway, right. So these influencers or these, you know, tourists or whatever, go into someone else's country and not really understanding what they're getting into. It's kind of, it's always been a bit of a bugbear for me, but more so now because you've got these people who are being paid by a foreign government, people from Britain and America, who are being paid by a foreign government to go to that person's country and or their state or their emirate and basically trot out propaganda about the glamorous lifestyle of Dubai. And I lived in Dubai. Well, I didn't live in Dubai. I stayed in Dubai for a month, right? And it's just the Trafford Centre. That's it. So if you really, really like the Trafford Centre, if you really love the Trafford Centre, and you think that that is the way of the future, you know, this shopping mall, this big, big shopping mall, that's all it is. It's just a big fucking shopping mall in the desert. It's very superficial. There's no real culture there. any culture that could possibly develop is sort of kept down. You can go into the city and find the bits where a lot of people live, the workers from the Indian subcontinent, a lot of people from India, a lot of people from Kerala working down there. And they don't really get a chance to create their own communities in a way that other immigrant communities do, starting their own businesses, opening their own restaurants and cafes, opening their own supermarkets. I mean, that does exist at a certain level, but a lot of people who come over are basically indentured labourers. So they have the passports taken off them. They're paid only half of what they've been told they're going to get paid. A lot of these people are from rural communities. And their families spent a lot of money on paying for them to go out to Dubai. And they're expecting to make money back on that. And it's a bit of a con. And a lot of people in Dubai, a lot of workers are taking their own lives as a result of the harsh conditions they have to work in, the little amount of money they have. They send what pittance they do get back to their home in India. They're really it's a imagine if the Trafford Centre had a vast underground network of slaves running it and making it function. You know, maybe you could imagine hundreds, thousands of people on hamster wheels creating the lights to go on, the flashing lights of the Christmas decorations in the Trafford Centre. Just the Trafford Centre, just turn the heat up. It's that, and it's not a place that I would recommend anyone go to. I think that the people who do go there, by and large, some of them are all right, absolutely, but there's quite a few people who go over there, and it's just all about money. I was talking yesterday about these millionaires who are going back because you've got to spend a certain amount of time in the country to qualify for all the tax breaks you get over there. And some of them are their years nearly up and they haven't spent enough time there, so they're spending like shitloads of money to go back into what's now pretty much a war zone in order to not have to pay tax in their own country. I mean, you know, ow, oh my God, I just burnt myself again. A bit of hot, sorry, on this mosquito coil. Picked up a bit of hot ash, fell off the end of it onto the thing. I normally have it on a plate, but the plate is full of water. Maybe I could sort that out. What's going on in the chat? I haven't looked at the chat for a little bit. Hang on, let me just get this. Let's get rid of this water. Oh no, I splashed my super chat sign. Oh dear. Oh well, never mind. The reason why the plate is full of water, it's because it was raining here last night. There's the plate. There's a plate that's normally on, so you can move it around without burning yourself. It's not a good idea to put it on a can or a Panama can. But yeah, it just seems like a ridiculous predicament that these influencers have come to find themselves in Dubai. And it's all in the name of capitalism. It's all in the name of consumerism. Get people to consume, get them to believe that like the most important thing in life are the things that you buy rather than what you do and the friends you make and the connections you make through life. So I think it's more important, but I'm just an old hippie like that. I remember driving around the area that became Trafford one night in the late 80s. I got lost. God, that place was depressing then. Yeah, I think some people would argue it's even more depressing now, but you know. Your mileage may vary on that one. I'll sooner visit Clacton than Dubai. It's Canada I want to see, says California. Canada's great. Canada's cool. I like Canada. Blankety blankety blank. Super chat game, says L. I like it. Really, just like popping into the Trafford Centre was okay a couple of times. Yeah, but would you want to live in the Trafford Centre in some kind of Dawn of the Dead style situation? Where you like, you know, you can't, you know, like I say, you got to keep one eye open when you go to sleep. No ambition to visit at all. Looks sterile. There's a really good word for it. There's sterile. Sterile and totalitarian. and because you don't really get a mix of cultures from the people who work there, because a lot of the people who are doing the actual jobs, doing the actual work, um, can't don't have an opportunity because they're not allowed to maybe own a business or start a shop or whatever. Um, or they just, I mean, they're indentured labourers. They can't do stuff like that. But the amount of slaves, indentured labourers, I mean, technically they're not slaves, but it's only one step up from slavery. And it just means that this is a very cultureless place, um, bereft of culture. In the same way that, like, the Trafford Centre is kind of like a reflection of culture, and they have like an Egypt zone. It's like the fucking Crystal Maze. It's like we'll have the Aztec zone, and we'll have the Future zone, and we'll have the, and it says nothing about Manchester. The Trafford Centre, it is just a shopping mall. You know, maybe if they'd done it in the shape of a B, or maybe if they'd had a fucking, I don't know, an old cotton loom set up in the middle so you could watch the cotton loom being made, and you could make t-shirts, bespoke t-shirts or something, and you could watch people make stuff with their hands, as, like, you know, part of Manchester's heritage. Then you could argue, oh yeah, you know, it says a little bit about Manchester, but it doesn't. It just says, here's some shops, buy some stuff. You haven't got the stuff you want. You never have the stuff you actually want. Just stuff that they make out that you need, but you don't actually need it. The 2020 zone, that would be awful. Wasn't it built by Americans, the Trafford Centre? I don't know. I know that one of the hotels that got hit in Dubai this week by the Iranians was the big sale, it's called the Burj Ali something. Not the Burj, it's not the Burj Dubai, that's a different one. Burj Khalifa, sorry, the Burj Khalifa is the big one, it's a very tall one. Which, you know, has got no plumbing. Do you know this about the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world? It's got no plumbing. It's not plumbed into the sewage system. There just isn't one. They didn't think of, like, putting that in first. It's a very SimCity way of building something, where you just you just dump something on a plot of land without having to worry about connecting it up to, you know, the electrics and the sewer system and all that kind of stuff. So they have this, like, line of, like, sewage trucks. I'm like, there's no word of a lie. Every morning at 6 a.m, you have this line of sewage trucks outside, like, to take all the shit away. Kind of crazy. Graham, did you hunt wild trumps for their skin to make that hammock? I did, yes. Trump skin hammock. Nope, shopping centres or malls were a novelty when I was a tween. As soon as I could afford to travel, no going back, says M. Yeah. Shopping centres, eh? You've seen one, you've seen them all. What happens to the shit? Probably gets dumped. Probably just gets dumped in the Persian Gulf. I still haven't watched the new Channel 4 documentary on the water companies. No, not documentary, it was a drama on the Dirty Business, it's called. It just blow your mind. Trump wants Zelensky to send help to deal with Iran's Shihad drones, even though he's delayed Patriot defense missiles. Yeah, I mentioned that last night, actually. So this is the news that America is actually asking Ukraine for help with the drone situation, if you can believe that. It's crazy, but it's true. Need a squeaky gecko. The geckos make this lovely noise. They go, like that. That's so cute. I love the way they run about. They run about like crazy people. They're going up a thing and they just run really funny. They don't run in a straight line. They just kind of wiggle back and forth. Really cute. He has no fucking shame, says this. No, because he's a Nepo baby. Nepo babies are very rarely understand shame. They very rarely understand the fact that, but by the grace of God, there go I. Do you know what I mean? This idea that if different things had happened in your life,
your outcome would have been very different. I don't think that if James O'Brien hadn't been adopted by a family that could afford to send him to one of the most expensive private schools in the country, I don't think he would be the main radio presenter on LBC. And he says that himself, actually. I was very, very lucky to be adopted by that particular family who could afford that much money to spend on their kids. He was doing a phone-in the other week about whether it's worth it to go to pay for education. Because he was talking about student loans. And obviously the student loan fiasco with the Type 2 loans. And it's a bit like Type 2 diabetes. It's not great. You've got to live with it for a very long time. He was saying, "Oh, is it worth it? And what he meant was, is it worth going to university? He didn't mean, is it worth it for your parents to, put all their money together and put you into a private school? Because it absolutely is. And he's living embodiment of that fact, and the fact that 67% of all the permanent LBC presenters went to private school. Kind of gives it away. Over 50% of any given editorial staff on the newspaper anywhere in the country went to private school. The people who control the means of production means of communication went to private school. Also production. So there's that. But yeah, the fact that he's like, is it worth it? And I'm like, okay. So now the government want to put 50% of kids leaving school into apprenticeships, right, to become plasterers and painters and electricians, plumbers, practical jobs, mechanics. Cool. I like it. I like the idea. I like people, going into job training straight away after school. Makes more sense than sending kids off to work in McDonald's where they're going to learn fuck all, really, because the food just cooks itself. You don't even learn to cook in McDonald's. All you learn how to do in McDonald's is clean stuff. 99% of the time that people spend in a McDonald's, working at McDonald's, they're fucking cleaning stuff. But yeah, okay, so we'll do that 50%, but it's got to be 50% across the board, my friends. 50% across the board, right? Listen to me, right? Can't just be the comps. It's got to be the private schools as well. I want 50% of every year in Eton to go into skilled occupations, just go into apprenticeships. What do you reckon? I mean, maybe Matt Hancock might have been quite useful as a plumber or an electrician, Just saying. Would have been more useful than making him health secretary at a time that we were facing the biggest pandemic that the world had seen for over 100 years. And him killing tens of thousands of British people through his stupidity and his arrogance. He was too busy making deals on the side with his bar landlord to scrounge money off us, the taxpayer. Wow, we well. And these same people, I want to take this back to the fact that there's this guy called Andrew Husband, who is the leader of the Durham Reform UK led Durham County Council. County Council. This guy's last business went bump, owing £1.5 million. And that was made up of money he owed to creditors, unpaid tax, but, and you're going to love this, also COVID relief loans. So those loans are no longer going to be paid off by him. So he got money off the government, right? Because he wanted money. And it wasn't just money to feed his kids. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of pounds that he took off the government. And he doesn't have to pay it back now. Because he just declared himself bankrupt and said, or the company went bust or whatever. Can we talk about welfare queens? This was a term made up in like the 1980s, I think, in America. Welfare queens, people who were living the high life on benefits. No one's ever met any of these welfare queens before, because if you're living on benefits, you're not doing so well. If you are affording to live a life of fucking Riley, you're probably a gangster, maybe. I don't know. While claiming the dole, probably a gangster. Might be a reason for the police to start sniffing around. What's going on here? But the same motherfuckers, like Nigel Farage, who supported getting rid of the two-child benefit cap, and now he decided he doesn't want to get rid of the two-child benefit cap. These same motherfuckers, privately educated, of course, like him and Kemi Badenoch, talking about benefit streets. And here's the reality, friends. These motherfuckers have got so much money out of our fucking government, more than we have, more than we could ever fucking imagine. So much money out of taxpayers. We're talking hundreds of thousands, we're talking millions of pounds in subsidies, in loans, COVID loans, tax breaks. They reckoned that for every kid who goes to state school, it costs about £7,000 a year to the taxpayer. For every kid who goes to private school, it's more like £26,000. How is it so much, I hear you ask? Well, there's a lot of things that happen. These schools get subsidies. They also get tax breaks, major fucking tax breaks. So money that they should have spent in tax, capital gains tax, was selling the golf course to Donald Trump, because the school needs a golf course, obviously. They didn't have to pay tax on that. There's also the fact that the government would have to spend money to allow children from more poorer backgrounds to go to private schools. These bursaries that are supposed to be being paid by the schools themselves, but actually it's a massive tax break. So it's money that they would have had to pay in tax from the hundreds of thousands, the millions of pounds these schools are making every year. And then they stitch up the system in ways where they make it so if there's a SEND school, it's private. If it's a boarding school, it has to be private. You can have state boarding schools. There are state boarding schools. They exist. But that corner of the market has been taken over so much by the private enterprise, the private corporations that run schools in this country, the private schools, which are money-making schemes. They can say we're not-for-profit, but the reality is they seem to make a lot of profit for not-for-profits. It all gets funneled back into the building. And then you've got the fact that we have a fund set up for old buildings that need fixing up, maintenance, stuff like that. We pay for that. We give money towards that. Subsidies again. And it's not just private schools. Think about the subsidies that we have given hand over fist to the water companies, to the rail companies over the years. Or if you want to just really kind of fry your noodle, have a think about how much money since the 1970s, since oil was discovered in the North Sea in the 1970s, how much money have we given in subsidies to foreign or even British oil companies? And do we get a discount on our oil? Do we? People who go on about stopping net zero, can you just ask them if we get a discount on our oil that comes to the North Sea? There's loads of oil in the North Sea. Labour won't let us drill for it. If only we could drill for that oil, then the price would come right down. No! Doesn't work like that. Hi, Mum. It doesn't work like that. Oil and gas are sold on the international market at international market rates. It's the way it works. Doesn't matter if it came out of your territory. You don't get a discount. Drilling in the North Sea is the way to guarantee that our energy prices will stay sky high forever. The way to stop that? Renewables. Simple as that. Simple as that. Saw a wonderful story yesterday that they're going to move the entirety of the underground, which has been electric for many, many years. They're going to move the entirety of the underground to solar power, or a good chunk of it. I suppose they do have trains at night. So yeah, which is really good. Shropshire, no problem, fairly cosmopolitan. Isle of Dogs and the O2. To be fair, it depends where in London. It's a big city. I tried to watch Isle of Dogs. You know the Wes Anderson film. Just couldn't get into it. Kept trying to watch it and then just getting distracted. Them Their Houses, Liam and Gold Phones. Though if I stick around for a bit, I might see some of those asylum benefits, says Liam. I have literal heart failure and don't qualify for PIP, but sure, Kemi Benefit Street. And that's disgraceful. That's absolutely disgraceful, Ren. I'm just, yeah. I'm not defending Labour, by the way. I was talking about something else. I'm just talking about the fact that Kemi Badenoch, every chance that she gets a chance, she talks about Benefit Street. This is a privately educated anchor baby who's went to one of the most expensive schools in Nigeria, and then came back to the UK and worked in McDonald's for a week and decided that she was working class somehow. But yeah, it's not great. It's brilliant, Graham. It's brilliant. What's that? I'm only there 4 days, no probs. I'm often there and haven't had my phone nicked. I've had that one. Are you talking about London? I had my phone nicked 24 times. I think it's in one day. Kept getting nicked. Anyway, so yeah, I find peace in the fact that I probably have a happier life than Badenoch and all the other hate peddlers. Don't see them excited about Strog. That's true. That is true. These sickos who run the world, they don't seem happy to me. They don't seem content. They're always chasing the coin in the water. Do you know what I mean? The one, and I'll always go back to this, the one that blows my mind is JK fucking Rowling. Why is she doing this? I don't mean necessarily doing a live stream from a private island, but, sitting on a private island with the friends and family, come to visit, and just chilling off and having a drink, eating really good food, just having a nice time on a beach. Why isn't she doing that? Why is... Could someone explain it to me? I don't understand. I don't understand why she's not... But no, I think once you hit the B, once you hit the billionaire, once you hit the third comma, then you transform into someone who just... This restless spirit that can never be sated. Like a demon that is always hungry, a demon that is always thirsty, and its thirst can never be quenched. That's like a punishment you'll get in Tartarus, the chamber of the underworld in Greek myth. That was there for the worst of the worst. Always be thirsty, but never have your thirst sated. I think that's what happens when these people become billionaires. And I think that's just the point where they just never laugh again. They never laugh. They never have a good time. Never just have a good time sitting around the table with a couple of mates and just chatting about stuff. Just being normal. I guess they get to a point where they can't be normal anymore. And we think most of these billionaires are psychopaths, but maybe being a billionaire turns them into a psychopath. Maybe they weren't already a psychopath to start with. They get to that billion and something like a switch goes in their brain and they're like, I can never be happy again. It's weird. You never see them chatting with mates because it seems like they don't have any. There was a part of me that kind of always felt a little bit sorry for someone like Michael Jackson. And I'll qualify that because I think he's a horrible man. I have no time for him. I think that the number of accusations that have been made against him should not be dismissed as some of his fans like to dismiss them as though, it's all conjecture, it's all rumour. But there's a part of me that does feel a little bit sorry for this lad who became world famous in the 1970s in the Jackson 5, where he was just a 7-year-old kid. He was just a little kid, right? And by the time he was a teenager, he already had all this money, all this fame. And you think about the way you make friends in life, from school, at work, maybe it's university, maybe people you met on the road while you were traveling, maybe people you meet through your church or through political groups. And like, imagine if every single one of them just was being friends with you because you were rich and famous, and that's the only reason they hung around with you. They didn't actually like you as a person. They just wanted to hang out with you because you were rich and famous. It doesn't attract the best type of people, does it? And I think that a lot of the child actors in Hollywood who have obviously gone astray as they get older, it might not necessarily be their fault per se. They weren't given enough protection as they were growing up, I would say. But also the people around them, I blame them. I blame the entourage, because they're the ones who are just like, I don't have to work, I don't have to write songs, I don't have to act. I just hang out with the person who does, and I just want to hang out and have a good time, meet ladies, and take drugs. And they encourage the talented one to take drugs as well, which ends in disaster often. I got a wonderful message there from Mike, which I'm going to check out in a moment. But first, I'm just going to put on my microphone because I just realised the wind is getting up, and I don't want it to be too windy. Now, once again, like I did yesterday, when I plug this in, right? Can you let me know you can still hear me and I don't sound like a robot or doesn't fuck it up too much? There you go. Right, plugged in. They get the mansion, yacht, plane, but then they get to hang out with people who own islands, mega yachts, gold plated dildos, and they think they're still unhappy because they don't have them. Yeah, I think you're right. I think there is like a yacht envy that goes on, like, oh, they've got a bigger yacht than me. And Kemi, trust rolling twats like that. Never learned your yesterday's seminar lesson on make your own luck. I think no, I kind of disagree with that. I think they have. I think they have, because they've taken opportunities when they've come along. And J.K. Rowling's a bit of an outlier there because she didn't go to a private school. She didn't particularly grow up rich. But it's worth noting that the cafe that she famously sat in, nursing a single coffee for a whole day while she was writing Harry Potter, first book, that cafe was owned by a relative. I think it was her uncle or someone who owned the cafe, so she could just sit in there writing all day. Sound is a bit robot. Have I become a robot? Is that just not my normal voice? And I'll take it out. Is that different? Do I sound normal now? I'll plug it back in. Let me know if I sound like a robot. Yay. Do you know what? Now we use USB-C connectors. Back in my day, we used mini jacks, and they were great. They didn't make you sound like a fucking robot unless you weren't plugged in correctly. Let me know. It's better unplugged. Okay. Like Nirvana. Sorry, it's a bit difficult to take out. Oh, well, that's rubbish, isn't it? Oh, well, and you might get some wind. You might get some wind on the camera. So then we've got some Rene. The unplugged sound is clearer. That is fucking crazy. Why would you buy a mic and then it makes everything worse? Blooming Scouser in paradise. Microphone pains with champagne. This is coffee. When I came, I made me coffee this morning, and a bit of top tip. So apparently, psychopaths are more likely to drink black coffee. I'm not having a go at anyone who drinks black coffee. A lot of my good friends drink black coffee, and I'm pretty sure they're not psychopaths. Right? But here's the thing, right? This morning, when I made my coffee, and I looked in my coffee cup, put my milk in it, and I saw these ants in the coffee. I had a dream there were ants in my coffee. Now, I don't know if they got into the kettle in the night. I don't know if they got into my cup. I don't know if they got into the coffee ground, the instant coffee I was using. I didn't know if they got into the milk in the fridge, which seemed a bit weird. Like, how could they get in there? I don't know. But here's the thing. If I hadn't put milk in, I wouldn't have seen those ants in my coffee. And I would have drank them. So sometimes there's a good reason for having milk in your coffee. I think it was in the kettle actually, because I cleaned the kettle out and then refilled it with water, and then now I've got this. And I did check. I don't think there are any. I don't think there's any. There's a bit in there. There's a bit, but that's okay. That's fine. It's not an ant. You don't want ants in your coffee. So top tip: when living on a tropical island in a rainforest, in a jungle, put milk in your coffee. Once upon a time, I was on a camel safari in the Thar Desert, which is between India and Pakistan, so it's the Rajasthan region of India. And the guy who organised it was a guy called Mr. Desert, and he was like the Marlboro man for a particular brand of Indian cigarette from like the 1970s. So all over his office, and he had this amazing moustache. He had all these pictures of him, posing with his cigarettes. He was an older gentleman when I met him, but he was sort of like the Burt Reynolds of Rajasthan. I like to think he had a I can't tell you how magnificent his moustache was. It was quite the thing. Anyway, so I went out on this camel safari. I'll never forget this. We were out in the desert, and they asked me if I want some chai. So the guys who took us, fucking incredible. They when we stopped to eat, they just put a rug out on the sand. And by the way, don't do camel safaris. Camels are horrible animals. Horses, yep, great. Elephants, okay. But I mean, camels, they're just horrible animals. There's a bit in An Idiot Abroad where I think it's when he went to Petra, and he's supposed to ride on a camel, and he's just like, fuck that, I'm not doing it. And he just gets out and he sits in the car with his arms folded. He's like, I'm not getting back on that. And I was watching that episode and going, Carl, I'm with you, mate. I'm fucking with you. Anyway, so so they set out all this, making all this food and stuff and putting it out for us, and on this safari that we were on, and do you want some chai? Yeah. And they have like the little tiny cup. It's like they had a little terracotta cup kind of thing, a little clay cup. It's like a single-use cup that they used to use in India. Just had them on all the trains, and so they fill that with the hot water and the tea, and they say, "Do you want some milk?" And I go, "All right," thinking that they had obviously brought some milk with them on a camel safari through a desert, which is not somewhere where you normally carry milk unless you've got a fridge, dragging behind or something. And there was a goat nearby. Just came over to see what we were doing, and the guy went over and just went underneath the goat, and I had a goat's milk tea, a goat's milk chai. It was all right. It's one of them where you're like, oh, thanks. Yeah, I can live with this. It's okay. True story. So you happily drowned and boiled the ants, but not a psychopath. Well, I didn't do it on purpose. They were in a kettle. I mean, how daft do you have to be to climb into a kettle? I mean, come on. Have you seen Phase 4, where the ants take over the world? Saul Bass's only film that he directed himself. He was the guy who did the title sequences for his wonderful Hitchcock movies. The ants take over the world. It was warm milk. Yeah. Phase 4, says Paulie Donkey. Yes. I wonder if you wrote that before I started talking about it. If I switch my wireless headset, I can prep veg and listen in. Come on, everyone, we're off to my kitchen. Yay, this is also available as a, well, it should be available. I don't know if I've set it up properly, but it should be available as a podcast. I'm not being funny. Some of my best friends have black coffee. No, they do. Some of my best friends have black coffee. It sounds compressed and bandwidth limited, says Russ. That is kind of crazy, isn't it? About the microphone. Oh I'm going to sign off in a bit because we've been going on for about an hour. Just wanted to talk to you a little bit about influencers. Tell you a little story about going on a camel safari. Camels are the worst. Camels are the fucking worst. They're like a horse. They're like a donkey with really bad table manners. They're constantly like burping, and they're blowing out spit bubbles from their mouth and just and drooling and just you're like a drooly dog. You know, you go around someone's house and got one of those fucking drooly dogs. Sorry if you've got a drooly dog. I love you, but I'm not coming around to your fucking house because I don't want dog drool on me fucking cacks, alright? Just one of those, you know, when you're having dinner and you look down and there's a dog, and he's on your leg, and he's just put his face on your leg, you know like dogs do. So on those big slobbery jowly ones, slobber jowl, and then they move away and they leave like this trail of saliva from your leg on your trousers that now you're gonna have to wash. Yeah. So imagine like a cross between a donkey and a big slobbery dog, but with bad table manners, and like the way that they walk is just it's very I don't know, it's different from being on a horse. On a horse you can, you know, it's kind of going up and down, do you know what I mean? Like you're going up and down as they walk just because of their gait, the way they walk. But on a camel, you're going up and down, but you're also going left and right as they walk, which is, I mean, it's all right for the first hour. The second hour though, that was pretty bad. Yeah, Bluetooth is shite for donkey's years, 25 years. But, I mean, these aren't even Bluetooth headphones. I plugged them in. Literally, I plugged them in. What are you complaining about? At least he added the milk in after, unlike real heathens that add milk in first. Oh. Yeah, that's true. Milk in first? I mean, you get away with it with coffee. In fact, you could argue it's actually better to put milk in first with coffee because that doesn't need to be so hot. And obviously, if you're making real coffee, I guess you make that sort of separate to the milk, don't you? But with tea, never put the milk in first with tea. Never put the milk in first if you're making a cup of tea. Making a pot of tea, you don't put milk in the pot, so that's fine. But otherwise, is Friday Night Social happening tonight? Oh, thanks for asking the question, Pete. I don't know. There's a few factors in this. Obviously, our wonderful friend Mike won't be able to make it tonight because he's in hospital. I don't think his neighbours in the ward will appreciate hearing about, I don't know, Scott's dislike for female anatomy. So I don't know on that point. I don't know who's up for it. So, but I am going into town today. If it stops drizzling, it's drizzling at the moment. If the weather settles down, if the sun comes out this afternoon, I might be tempted to go over. If we have a look at the water at the moment, it's not too bad, but it's not that wonderful pond, just flat milk pond that we get normally in the morning. Obviously, with the rain, you get a bit of wind. If that starts kicking up, if I start seeing little start seeing little white crests of the waves, I'm probably not going to go out in the Jinja Ninja over there because it'll just be horrible. I hate going out when the water's choppy. But if we do go out to town, it'll be about 4:30 my time. That's 9:30 for you. So I should be able to find somewhere with decent internet and set up so I can actually do a proper Friday Night Social, not just a thing on my phone like this. So there's a few factors that I've got to go into it. I will say tentatively, yes, I do want to do a Friday Night Social tonight. I don't know if it'll just be, it might just be me and Scott, which is fine, I'm sure. So what I implore you to do is hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon because my timings aren't going to be as regular as they normally are. I'm going to try and make this 1 o'clock in the afternoon for you in the UK, GMT. For the rest of the month, every day. I'll try and do a show at this time. It's 8 o'clock in the morning for me. But otherwise, I might find something interesting on the island that I want. You know, like when I was pulling down the chicken coop yesterday, I thought it was fun. So I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Well, I'll just set the camera up and you can watch it if you want. So I might do something like that. So please subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, please hit the bell notification icon, and that'll tell you if I'm live. I might not be able to give too much notice. That's the only thing. Wait, what? Wired mic compared to phone mic is unreal. Yeah, it's a wired mic, but it's a USB-C wired mic. I just feel like if it was a normal phono mini jack connection, then it would be all right. Back on the subject of humans breeding, dog breeding fiasco. Ugh. Oh yeah, don't get me started on that. We changed to BST in 3 weeks. Yes, that was another thing I was going to say, Ross, so thanks for preempting me there. Yeah, in 3 weeks' time, we do change to BST in the UK. We don't change times here in Panama. Come on, we're only 9 degrees north of the equator. There's no reason to change our time zones. It gets dark every night at 6:30, and it gets light every morning 6:30. So throughout the year, it oscillates by about half an hour or something. So yeah, if you're joining me, I might, depending on how I feel and how early I'm waking up in the morning and stuff, I might move it to 7 o'clock for me so it stays the same time as you, or I might knock it forward to 2 o'clock for you. So it's the same time for me, it's 8 o'clock for me, but for you it'll be 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But that'll only be the final week that I'm here. So we will see. How's the island doing, Graham, at flood defence and saltwater? Thanks for the question, Alvone. So with the flood protection, Ishmael tells me that the island hasn't flooded since October, and he did a few more things in October to make sure that it wasn't getting flooded with salt water. So we've got 2 problems, okay? We've got salt water coming in, but we also need to allow for rainwater to get out, okay? So these 2 factors kind of like fighting against each other. Because imagine if you build like a wall or a mound, you build like a Offa's Dyke. If you build like a wall around the island, then great, the water can't get in from the outside, but then also the water can't get out from the inside when it rains, and it does rain really heavily here. So we've got a few more things to do. I am going to have to get more soil, unfortunately, which is really fucking expensive. It's $95 for a boat, and we probably, to do this job properly, we probably need 100 boats. I'm not kidding. And I know that sounds like absolutely astronomical amounts of money to be spending on fucking soil, but it's just the way it is. But yeah, I don't think I'll be getting 100 boats, but maybe 10. Maybe I'll end up spending like 950 quid while I'm here on fucking soil. There's a few more things to do with the drainage. We've got 2, I was talking about this earlier, we've got 2 pipes that go out from the island to allow the rainwater to go out, but they keep getting filled with mud because it's quite a muddy island because of the mangroves, and so they take a lot of maintenance, and we're going to put a 3rd one in out past the house towards the south end of the island. So just 1 more. We've got 2 at the moment. I'm going to add 1 more, and hopefully that will allow the water to be channeled out. Like Channel 4, Channel More. We will channel more water tonight on Channel More. So yeah, that should be good. We're working on the walkway at the moment. We're extending the walkway. I'm going to have a little walkway going to Ishmael's cabana. We're also going to have. I've taken up the floor in the house. Going to replace it with a wooden floor because it's tiles at the moment, and loads of them are broken and loose, and it's not great for health and safety. You don't want to cut your foot on a broken bloody tile. I'm going to paint the house. This building that I'm in here, the boathouse, see the roof here? I think the time has come to replace the roof, so I'm going to have to buy some more roof panels. I think they're about 30 quid each. Need about, don't know how many we need. We need about 12 of them, so that's going to be quite expensive. Yeah, all these things are very expensive, and then there's like little jobs that need to be done, like these bits of wood down here, right? See these are 2x12 inch pieces of wood. I'm sorry, I'm pressing them with my hand. You can't actually see my hand. See these pieces of wood down here? They are not nailed down. They need to be nailed down. I am concerned that someone will come in the night and just be like, turn up and just go, oh, it's not nailed down, lads. Let's fucking have them, because they're quite expensive, these pieces of wood. So the island just needs to be taller. says Russ. Yeah. Spring equinox special show. Oh, that'd be cool. That would be cool. Is the equinox the same in the UK? Is the day the same in the UK as it is in Panama? How does an equinox work? Can't be, can it? Can it? Don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to get off now. I'm going to run back to the house. I wish I had a brolly. It's actually pissing down with rain at the moment. I don't know if you can see. There's some interesting birds there making noise. So yeah, the flood defences are going all right, although they seem to be holding all. We need to do a little bit of maintenance and a little bit of extra stuff that needs to be done. But otherwise, we've managed to get loads of new plants on the island. The island's a lot greener than it was. And yeah, I've said to Ishmael, we're getting bamboo. He doesn't want to get bamboo because it grows like crazy. It's too mad. Don't get bamboo. And I'm like, no, we're getting bamboo. I want a just big massive bamboo tree in the middle of the island. It'd be fucking awesome. There you go. Same for the planet, a whole planet 4 times a year. Ooh, okay. Equinox is when the sun crosses the equator. Oh, good. I'm glad it's the same for everyone, everywhere, all at once. So I guess the sun's coming up from the Tropic of Capricorn up to the Tropic of Cancer on the spring equinox. Okay, cool. And we'll get an entirely equal day. But then, is that right? Sorry, I'm trying to think about this while I'm talking, and I can't think and talk at the same time. But surely the tilt of the Earth makes a difference, does it? Like, why would it be? So would we have a exactly 12-hour day here in Focus? Would we have a 12-hour day, 12 and a half? Equinoxes, 2 solstices. Sorry, solstice is the other end. Yeah, solstice is your shortest day and your longest day. But is the shortest day for England or Britain, is that the same shortest day as December the 23rd or whenever it is? Is that the same shortest day as Panama, which is only 3 degrees north of the equator? I don't know. Equinox is completely equal day and night, yep. But I'm just wondering if what's it called? The venereal disease, the venereal equinox. If the equinox is the same date in Panama as it is in the UK, is it? Bamboo grows tall like crazy, Anna. Dig a hole in the black soil and make a pond with a bilge pump to get rid of excess water. Yeah, it's probably a good idea, but there is a lot of black soil, and making all those ponds will be difficult. And the problem with the bilge pump is, in that kind of scenario, is it'll get filled with soil very, very quickly. You spend half your life fucking clearing out the pump. Peppers, onions, shrooms, all chopped and ready to throw in a pan. Ooh, sounds lovely. But yeah, so does anyone know? Does anyone look it up? The equinox in the UK is on the same day as the equinox in Panama. Fun fact: before the calendar was Julianized, Christmas was born on the winter solstice. Yeah. Okay, I'll take that. We're not getting an answer. Then it got shifted a couple of days about Christmas. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to have a party in the middle of winter for the solstice, eh? I mean, it's a pretty miserable time of year. I completely understand that. I'm not getting any answer in the chat. No one's deigned to look on Google. I could look it up myself, but I'd need to use my phone, and it would mean that I wouldn't be able to talk to you while I was doing it. Shortest day in the UK is the longest day in Australia. Equinox has tilt axis at 90 degrees to the sun. Solstice has tilt axis pointing away from the sun. Yes, the question is, does Panama have the same day of the equinox as the UK? We're 9 degrees north of the equator here. Well, the UK is what, 60 degrees north of the equator or something mad? It's right up there, isn't it? That's up there. All I know is Equinox was a record by Jean-Michel Jarre. I hope that helps. Equinox. Of course, the equinox is equal. Okay, so it's the same everywhere. Doesn't matter where you are, where your line of latitude is. As long as you're in the northern latitude, it'll be the same day. Okay. I guess then, yeah, so the equinox will be the same in Australia. Going the other way. Okay, yes. Equinox is the same all over the world. Google says yes. Yes, England and Panama experience the equinox on the same day as a global instantaneous event. However, due to time zones, the time of day it occurs will differ. Well, that's really interesting. So does everywhere in the world get... No. Does everywhere in the world get a 12-hour day? Everywhere in the world gets a 12-hour day on one day of the year. Yeah? I guess so. If that's what you're saying. That's kind of cool. It's kind of a couple of days. The precise space doctor time is up. Yeah, I get that. Obviously, the Earth wobbles a little bit. Our quantum clocks are more accurate, aren't they, than the Earth? The Earth wobbles as it goes through space. Northern Hemisphere shortest and longest days are the same. That's really fascinating. So everywhere has a 12-hour day. Everywhere in the world. Antarctica has a 12-hour day. The Arctic has a 12-hour day. Even though the world's tilted. The world's on a tilt. Sorry, my brain's not computing this. I'll have to think about it. Don't ask me what Gemini or whatever the name is. Universally, the whole world has it. So someone on the equator has a 12-hour day, 12-hour night on the equinox. And someone in the Arctic also has a 12-hour day and 12-hour night, even though the world's tilted. Okay, cool. I'll take it. Right, I'm going to move the camera over here. The reason being, this is my best side. No, not that. It's getting wet. My camera's getting... My laptop's getting wet. My super chat sign. You can see now it's very wet. My super chat sign. Got wet, but you can see the word super chat better now that it's wet. Maybe we should paint this bit black, and then the letters can be white, so you can see it really, boss. We should celebrate more. Yeah, we should. We should, Paulie Dog. We should celebrate. Any excuse, mate. Any excuse to celebrate. The tilt is side on to the sun. Yeah. Yeah. Keep turning AI mode off its back next time I open a new tab browser. Yes. So there you go. Equinox. Turns out it's the same all over the world. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. On that one day, you get 12 hours of sunshine and 12 hours of nighttime. Okay, I'll take it if that's what Google says. Who am I? Who am I to disapply? The moment of the equinox is the same all over, but that's the same as equilux when the day and night are the same length. Equilux is different depending on where you are in the world. Oh. Oh. But I thought equinox meant equal night. And equilux just means equal light. Doesn't it? I'm so confused now. I wish I had my laptop and the connection to the internet and I could look this up. It's a celebration for absolutely everyone, race, colour or creed. Yeah. It's at the point that the angle 23.5 degrees of the Earth is nullified, like spinning top straight up, down. Take care and be kind, peeps and peepettes. Thanks for the stream. It's been calming. Oh, I'm glad we calmed you. Did you find the rain? The ASMR from the rain? Found it. Equinox does mean equal night, but the term has been bastardised. Bastards! How dare they bastardise the bastard word? Bastard. When I was a kid, it just meant illegitimate child. Now it means bastard. Bastards. I once got into trouble for quoting Truman. Was it Truman? Maybe it was Roosevelt. I think it was Truman. Saying it's better to have people in the tent pissing out than outside the tent pissing in. And I got into trouble for using the word piss, which appears in the Bible, by the way. That was my defence. Didn't get me anywhere. Okay, right. I'm going to go now. I was going to say I'm going to go and get some work done, but the reality is I'm not going to get any fucking work done because it's pissing down with rain. So, yeah, great. Just not get any. I don't know. Maybe I'll write. Maybe I'll do some writing today. Would that be good? Get some writing done? Should we do that? Should we do some writing? But if the weather stays like this, I'm not going to go to town, okay? And if I don't go to town, it means there's not going to be a Friday night social tonight, as you know it. So what we will have is a Jinja night social. and I'll be here, and we'll have a party on my boat dock. Okay, just me on my own, one man orgy, and you can tune in, and we'll put the world to rights. Just chilling out here on the boat dock. Or I might be in the house, actually. If the rain continues on like this, I'll be in the house because it's less noisy and I get less wet. Because one of my legs is really soaking wet now. I'm just like sitting out in the rain talking to you. It's just fun. Better move my mosquito coil. Look, the mosquito coil is drooped. It's supposed to be all on one level. It's supposed to be all horizontal. It's drooped down as a result of getting wet. It's still lit though, I think. Is it still lit? Oh no, it's gone out. The rain put out my mosquito coil. God damn it. Oh no, it's still lit. Oh, it's still there. I brought it back to life with the magic of my breath. It's cool doing that with a fire. You ever done that with a fire where the fire looks like it's out? And then you blow on it and it comes back, it like roars back to life and you're like, ah, I'm a dragon. Just me. Okay. Water will do that. Don't forget to get the booster when you go into town. Well, I don't know if they'll have it, Andrew, but the main city in these parts is Changanola, which is on the mainland. And we might be doing an expedition out there next week because the power converter from the DC power from the batteries and the solar panels to AC power in the house, the inverter, that's broken, and I only got it 6 months ago. So I'm planning to take that back to Changanola, and they should have one of these signal boosters, mobile signal boosters. Fire returns, and then it gets dropped. What? I brought it back. Sheldon Whitehouse is a good watch on YouTube. That's very good. You went off piste in it. First page of a new book. OMO OMG lol says Paulie Donkey. So listen, hopefully the rain will stop later on today. It usually doesn't go on forever, the rain here. Sometimes it does, most of the time it doesn't. Hopefully the rain will stop, and then I'll head into town, and I'll keep you posted. I might do some posts. You know, you can do posts on YouTube now. I'll keep you posted via the posts on what I'm doing, what I'm up to, and what's happening at the Friday Night Social tonight. I might go all the way into town, and it might just end up me and Scott. So it might just be an episode of Stateside, I guess. I don't know, maybe. But we'll see. Okay, thanks very, very much for watching. Thanks for the Super Chats, really appreciate that. And until I see you again, I just want to say thanks for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and... oh, hang on. Goodbye.